Can you guys hear me? Hello. Just testing this live thing out. Hi, Sarbui. That's my wife's name. So right now what I'm doing is, in this cartoon, Abo is supposed to be carrying a basket. He's trying to get a dog and a cat to have babies. So they're in the tent here, and Abo is bringing like a baby shower basket as a gift. Thank you. Okay, I had designed the basket that I was supposed to use. This is Abo and Karo's previous house design that I did. And then I changed it. It's not this one. I think it's this one. Oh, this has different colors. Back here you can see the different colors. And then the final one ended up being no, this was also a different one. I was just doing different color tests to see which one I like. But the one I ended up going with, I can't find. Oh, is it maybe this one? Yeah, there you go. I ended up going with this one. If you guys hear that laughing noise, that's my dad's bird actually. You guys have probably seen him in one of the cartoons cussing out Abo and Garo's dad. Okay. There's a background. Oh, might be in here. Oh, okay, here's one of the backgrounds that I was looking for. Turn this off. Okay, I need this background here. Okay, there we go. Hello. Okay, so now I don't think I designed the basket. I thought I had. So I'm gonna turn off the background stuff so I don't see those. They don't bother me. And then this is on the bottom here. This is a storyboard. This is where the planning happens. So the basket here is roughed in. I'm gonna go in and just clean that up. So I'm actually gonna take the storyboard layer here, and I'm gonna turn the whole layer's opacity down. So properties, I want it to be 50%. See, it kind of blurs it out. I can actually do a little bit more. Properties, let's do about like 80%. I want to barely see it, just as a guide. And then are all of you watching Armenian? Barev. Levon. Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. I always see you sharing my stuff. Okay, so then I'll go. Hello, Laura. Well, it doesn't matter. I was just curious. Awesome, Levon. All right, I'm gonna turn on this object drawing mode down here. That way, when I make lines, actually, not on this layer. See, I'm drawing on the same layer, so it's making my lines opaque, just like the storyboard. Actually, my favorite thing about my cartoons is that I hear from a lot of non-Armenians that they can relate to them. So, of course, you can stay, Laura. Okay, so gonna go here on the animation layer with my, now see if I draw. It's darker because it's on a different layer. And if you notice that my lines are staying the same thickness, I'll actually go and turn that off. Actually not turn that off, turn these two on here, use pressure and use tilt. I'll click those on. And then now when I draw, it's actually dependent on the pressure. So I can draw very thin lines, thick lines, depending on how hard I press. So I'll go here and I'll start with the bow. Oh, and the reason I use the, thank you, Gohar. Oh, it's tilted. Let me try to fix that. All right. I have a weird little thing that's holding up my camera. That's why. I'll try to get better stuff. Okay. So I'll start when I turn the object mode on and I start drawing. Even though I make these lines, see, I'll make like 2 lines. It keeps them separate. So if I click this line, I can actually move it off to the side. If I didn't have that option turned on, oops, lock that layer. If I didn't have that option turned on, it would actually, here, I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna turn off the object mode. And if I draw 2 lines, it makes those 2 lines into 1 line. And it's like you can select it and do stuff with the lines, but it's connected as 1 line. So what I like to do is I like to turn on the object mode. So when I draw my lines, it keeps them separate. And it's just a little easier to edit them like that. So I'd say if I go in and I want to scale this up a little bit afterwards, and individually I can edit the lines here. Again, see, I made this little shape here. I can scale that up and move it around separate from these lines. And also, when you're in object, where do I work? I work at Warner Brothers. I work on a Teen Titans TV show. And recently we just had the movie. Did any of you see the movie? Yeah, see, object mode, it allows me to go in now, and I can delete the parts that are sticking out. I can mess around with this line and just clean it up. I'll go in here and do that same thing to this other one. And just fix it up. And here's another thing. Let me show you real quick. My two characters here, Abo and Karo. If I go inside, how can you apply color with that mode? If you select the lines, even though they're different objects, you can change the color. It'll change all the colors. Whatever color I want. I can do that. Oh, and are you talking about filling it with color? Yeah, if you need to color it in, then when I'm done, I break it. I control B, so it becomes one piece. And then I'll go in and color. But I don't want to do that yet, so I'm gonna undo. Okay. My characters, yeah, no problem. My characters are, I set them up so that I actually have, if I go inside the mouth symbol, like it's broken up into different symbols, the mouth, the nose, the face. I came up with the idea of the cartoon. I created Gato based on one of my cousin's friends. And then Abo, I was actually, where is Abo? Abo was actually when I was designing him. Yeah, those were fun to do, the Harut cartoons. When I was designing Abo, I based him off of the Armenian singer Aram Asataryan. He actually, I think, even had the mold that Aram Asataryan had, but then I ended up moving that in the newer cartoons. Yeah, so if we go inside, you'll notice that, like I said, these are separated into different symbols. I can move the head around like that. If I go inside the mouth symbol, he has all his mouth shapes in there. I'm scrolling down here on the timeline where all the drawings are, and I just have all these shapes. Oh yeah, that was a different singer named Harut, actually, Harut Pampukjan. It's on my YouTube channel. Oh, and same with eyes. If I go inside, I have all these shapes. That's how I make them blink and everything. Okay, so we'll go back to this. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. This is actually pretty cool. Always been kind of like, not sure if I want to do this live thing, but it's cool being able to talk to you guys. Yeah, I love the old school singers. Harut mostly. It's funny because my grandpa's name was Harut. My character's name is Harut. My favorite Armenian singer is Harut. My name is Hike. Hike Manukian. Oh, and another idea I was actually thinking about testing out was, if you notice, if I turn these off, I've been thinking about testing this out where I leave my cartoons in storyboard form like this and just have more cleaner drawings. The Teen Titans movie was it done in animate? Toon Boom. It was like 90% of it was done in animate CC. All the stuff that I animated, or most of the stuff that I animated, like the Lion King sequence, that was done in Harmony. I did that in Harmony. There was also like a part where the Teen Titans are talking about what their lives would be like without Robin, and it's showing them like Beast Boy is eating garbage and Cyborg is a football player. All that stuff I did in Harmony. But yeah, most of it was done in Animate CC. Wait, what was that? Your favorite video was... I'm slow at reading Armenian, so I couldn't get that last part. Yeah, I've been thinking about instead of taking my stuff all the way to clean up and color, keeping my stuff like storyboard form, rough, and just getting stuff out faster that way, maybe. But it's something I want to test out. Yeah, that one, that walking around with that's Smiggle the Beagle. Yeah, ayo hayran կարողանում եմ խոսամ. Melanie. Oh, Վայրենի Վարդանիկը. I do Harut's voice, so anytime Harut is speaking Armenian, that's actually me speaking. I do Harut, Karo, Sofik. The original video was actually Sweet Mother of Vartan. That was the first one I ever made. And then number 12, I think, was like the third one I made. Barev Alex. Laveng. Yeah, that's the one I'm most known for in the Armenian community. Yeah. Yeah, I actually just uploaded the Tutak cartoon on my Instagram. Yeah, I would love to have him back. Depends on the ideas I have. Red Meat should still be up. If it's not, it's probably because the music was copywritten. Yeah, 101 was a great one too. That was based on a Armenian joke. My Instagram is hike_animation. How long have I been in America? I've been in America since I was 8. Uttarikanit Sekelem America. From Yerevan, Armenia. I actually have an idea of doing a few like animated stories of basically Karo talking about him and his family's trip from Armenia to America and the difference and experience and all that stuff, and basing it off of my own life. Yerevan, Armenia. This is actually a new episode I'm working on right now that you're watching here. And yes, I'm still working on Teen Titans Go. I'm on season 5 right now. I'm 36. But to this, I'm still like mentally I'm still in my 20s. So people when they ask me how old I am, I almost always start off saying 20 and then realize I'm 36. Awesome, glad you liked it. Okay. This is good. So in here we're gonna have a little pacifier, or not a pacifier, a milk bottle. And I'll select these and I'll make it into a little group. Again, just to keep it as one object. Maybe it's like a bag of diapers. Who said the barbecue? What do you mean? Oh yeah, this is vector drawing. Oh, barbecue voice. That was Harut. So yeah, that was me. The one with the real life videos, I moved to a different channel called Harutun. Harutuns. Or The Harut, actually. There's a little bone here for the dog.
You want me to say barbecue? I tell you barbecue.
Okay, I'll turn this bone into one piece. Wow, there's 21 of you in here? The classic Harut from number 12? Maybe. Maybe I might bring like or do some more Armenian jokes with it with that old classic Harut. Actually, when I first started, the first Abo and Karo cartoon I did was the one where God was trying to tell a joke. Um, God was trying to tell a joke, and Abo kept laughing. Remember that one? In that first one, they weren't actually brothers. They were just friends, and then they became like with future episodes. The story required them to be brothers, so I made them brothers. And then I had other episodes that required a dad, so I turned the classic Harut into their dad Harut. And that's how they became a family. And then I needed a mom, so Sofik. That's how Sofik came. The last time I was in Armenia was the last time I came here. I've never been back. My sisters went back, my dad's been back, but I haven't been back yet. But we want to go back. That's awesome. Like I love hearing entire families watching my cartoons because that just tells me that there's no like I've always hated the idea of cartoons being for kids. So when I hear the entire family sits down and watches it, that just like that means everything to me. That's awesome. So I'm gonna create this basket and I'm gonna put it in Abo's hands. And I think that should be good for today. Oh, and here's a cool thing. This is new in Flash. Actually, I'm not sure what the shortcut is for it because I've been mostly using Harmony these days. But Flash has it too, where you can rotate the. Oh, there you go. It's Shift and Spacebar, and you can rotate the drawing board, and you can go in and draw on different angles like this, and then you just hit this, and it goes back to normal. And then if you guys saw, so Abba is trying to get a dog and a cat to have babies, and then this guy right here, he's got some plans, and this kind of stuff ends up happening. So, but you'll see why and how and all that stuff. Hopefully, I have enough. Is it difficult to paint to color this stuff? You mean? Oh no, it's not difficult. Once I'm done doing all the outlines, I'll show you how I color it in. Okay, some more little objects here. And this basket, I think is good to go. Turn that into a group. Yeah, it's hard to find the time. I actually just got home like at like close to 8. Hung out with my daughter a little bit, my wife, and like my after my daughter went to sleep, My wife is actually sitting next to me watching something, and that's when I get a chance to do anything. And most of the time, I'm tired and ready to sleep. Are you guys all following me on Instagram? I've been posting a lot of stuff on there lately. Okay, so what do your wife and daughter think about Abo and Karo's adventure? My daughter, she's 5, so she's aware of them and she likes them and she knows that I make them. Um, but she's just starting to kind of get the jokes and stuff. My wife's always been a big fan of my work from the beginning. She was actually in a couple of my videos when I was doing the live action Harut videos. I'm sure a lot of you remember. There was a blooper one where we kept laughing. Which ones were those? Oh, I think that's where the Abo and Karo started actually. The Abo laughing at the joke, the ticket. There's actually a story about how I ended up doing Abo and Karo too, because I was doing the classic Harut, the 101, number 12 and stuff, but those were those took a lot longer to do. Yeah, that one. Those took a lot longer to do because I was actually like drawing most of the frames. And then I started working at Rhythm and Hues. I was working on the Alvin and the Chipmunks movie and Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton. And then while working there, like the hours were insane. I would go in at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and then I would end up coming home at, especially towards the end, coming home at like 12, 1 a.m. So I had to figure out a way to be able to do faster cartoons, and that's how I created Abo and Karo, because they were just like really simple drawings. Um, they were kind of like almost like puppets. Okay, so I created these objects, and then I'll just go in. One of you was asking if it's easy to color. I'll close off this open area so that the color stays within the object. I'll break the object so it's not objects anymore. It's actually one solid drawing. And then I'll go in and color. Ninja, I would love to. I actually have episode 5 written out and everything. Actually, most of it is in a storyboard. It's just my biggest enemy is time. I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of things I want to do, but time is like there's not enough in my day. Okay, so then I'll go and make a color. Let's say it's a bone, so I'm gonna want it to be kind of yellowish and a little closer to white. And then I'll pick my bucket here and fill it. There you go. So that's done. I'll get rid of these lines. And then here, I guess these could be diapers or treats. I'll break this. Again, I closed all the open areas. Closed off the open areas, broke the object, and then I'll go pick my colors. So let's say I'm gonna make this into a treat bag. So I'm gonna do a little like brown. This area I haven't closed off. So if I click here, it's gonna fill everything. I don't want to do that. I actually want to close it off. So I'm gonna drag this over like that, and then I'll fill this in. See, now it's like a nice little brown. I'll make a new color and fill this in. There you go. And if I want to do this area kind of different, I'll drag this down to close off that area. Now it's closed off. And I'll pick that color, take it down a little bit, and then fill it. And now you have a little color there. Okay? Or it gives it a little bit of a dimension. This is a bottle of milk. I'll make the bottle light blue. Like that. Oh, I forgot to break it. Break it. Fill it. I'll make the cap. What color do you guys want the cap? Yellow. Let's go with yellow. I'm gonna make it a little orangey yellow. Okay, so we'll make that like that. And then I'll take the line tool. I'm gonna draw milk in there or fill it with milk, but I don't want a dark, like I don't want the milk to have a dark outline like that. I just want to create, I'm gonna create a line tool. Down, can you guys see that? Well, actually you guys can't see, but there's an option to change the line to straight or smooth. I changed it to smooth, and then I'll make a little wave for the milk. I'll double click it, kind of smooth it out. And then I'll break that and make some white milk. A little bit more whiter. Okay, and then I'll get rid of the line. Get rid of these lines. And there you go. There's your bottle of milk. And see, all these objects are separate. They're actually like objects that I can move around. This is a bag of what should we make this? It's a present for a dog and a cat, or half dog, half cat. I'll just make it some bag. There you go. And we'll put it behind the bottle of milk. If you select the object and you hit Control down, it goes behind the other object or up. So I want this to be kind of hidden behind there. I'm gonna put this behind. I'm also gonna put these behind. Okay. Since it's a baby shower, we'll put some pastel colors like a little pink. Thank you. Glad you like it. It's been a 6-year-long project. That's actually the longest job I ever had in animation. Most jobs last about 2 years and then the project finishes and you move on. I started Teen Titans 6 years ago and we're still going strong. Okay, so now I'm gonna put the front of the basket. I'm gonna make that into one object. So turn that into an object, and then I'll go in and color this, break, and then I think the basket I had a yeah, I'm gonna use that color. Fill it. This little hatching here, I'm gonna give it like a darker color. Okay. Yeah, I would love to do this full time. Well, I mean, I do it full time. I mean, I'm doing my own cartoons full time. Abo and Karo full time. Haru full time. And then that way I would be able to finish my ninja cartoon and all that stuff. And then, okay, so I made this. This is, see now it's in the front. So all that stuff actually goes in there. And then I'll make this the back. I'll make it into a group. I'll go in there. Close this off. And then I'll select this, break it, color it the, let's see if this works actually. If I go out of that symbol, see now that dark layer is all the way on in the front, so it doesn't look right. If I select it, control, down, 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 it puts it all the way in the back. There you go. Now you have the basket with all the stuff in it. I can like rearrange the stuff, put this a little deeper and all that stuff. And then this we'll make into one object. Is this stuff interesting to you guys, even if for those of you who aren't animators or into animation? I never really do this type of stuff because I figure it's kind of boring for people. Well, if I know it's interesting, I'll do this more often. I do this every day. It's my like 99% of my day. So for me, I always feel like there's nothing new or interesting happening. So I never really bother making this type of stuff. Close this off. And then it'll be fun for you guys to see like when I'm actually animating Abo and Karo and all that stuff. Oh, I forgot to break it. And then we color it. I use the darker color. I'm actually gonna click on this one, this lighter color, go in there and then repaint it. There you go. And then get rid of these lines. And then time for the bow. What color do you guys want the bow? Green. All right, let's do green. I might have to change the green because Abo's shirt is green. So when he's holding the basket, it might kind of not stand out enough. But there you go. See, now I have a basket. Now, here's another cool thing that I like about Animate CC. Oh, let me fix this real quick and then I'll show you guys. Okay. Now I created all these objects. They're separate pieces. I can move them around. I can rearrange them. This I actually want to push back like that. Now when I grab the whole thing and I hit F8, I turn that into a symbol. So I'm gonna name that basket. It's a graphic. You have a few options here: a movie clip, button, or graphic. With animation, we never use movie clip or button. This is more for websites. If you're creating a website, we always use graphic. And then there's advanced settings here, which I don't really use. And then yeah, I name the basket. Hit OK. Here in the properties, I'm gonna change that to single frame. That means if you do play once, it's gonna play whatever's inside that symbol. So if I had like a bunch of drawings in there, it would play them. They would move. If it's on loop, it's gonna constantly play it over and over and over again. Play once is gonna play it once and stop. Single frame is gonna just keep it on one drawing, and then you can set whatever drawing you want. So for example, like Garo's mouth. Inside the symbol, he has a bunch of mouth shapes. Each mouth is on a frame. So this is frame 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. Now when I go outside of that symbol, this is set right now on loop. So if I hit enter, it's just gonna loop the same mouth shapes over and over and over again. Happy, sad, happy, sad. And if I change this to play once and I hit enter, it's gonna play it once and then stop. If I hit or change it to single frame and I hit play, it's not gonna play anything. It's gonna keep it on just one drawing. So what that lets me do out here is that lets me hit F6. That means I create a new keyframe. And then I want the mouth here to be on, let's say, drawing number 6. Here, I want the drawing number to be drawing number 3. And then here, I want the drawing number to be back to 1. So now when I hit play, it's gonna just do exactly what I wanted it to do. Instead of looping or playing, it's gonna open and close. That's how I make them talk. And I'll clear those. So now with the basket, what I did is I created a graphic, and I can actually move it around as one object. And if I go inside that object, that's where I can move my stuff around and rearrange, whatever. Now I'm gonna put this in Abo's hands. So I'm gonna take the basket, move it around. And this is more of a puppet style animation where I'm using these characters as kind of like puppets where I'm moving stuff around. But then there's like times where I have to actually draw stuff. A lot of the stuff I've been recently posting on my Instagram, it's all hand-drawn stuff. So like I'm literally drawing like instead of right now I was just hitting 6, 4, 3. For example, the Teen Titans dances, if you see those on my Instagram, those are like I literally drew every single frame like this. I actually drew Robin's face on every single drawing, on every single frame. So you guys could see Robin right there. And then I would go in and clean up frame by frame like that. But with Abo and Karo, because I try to save time, I have this more puppety style thing going. Okay, so then I'll grab the basket. I'm actually gonna go inside the Abo symbol. Abo is one object here. I'm gonna go inside the Abo symbol. I want this hand to be over the basket, this hand to be behind it. So I'm gonna create a new layer underneath that hand. I'm gonna hit Control V to paste. Scale it up to a good size. I'm gonna change his pose a little bit so he's kind of like leaning back with his body. Like that. put this hand behind the basket. There you go. So now Abo has the basket. I'm gonna want Abo when the scene starts. Abo needs to walk in. So I'm gonna turn off these objects and just see where what the storyboard is showing me. So he's gonna walk in and then stop around here. So I'm gonna create a keyframe here, and a keyframe at frame 1 and a keyframe at frame 38. Then I'm gonna move him back. Oh, and he should actually be in front of Karo, so I'm gonna move the layer up. I'm gonna move him back off screen. And then I'm gonna click on in between these two keyframes and I'm gonna hit create classic tween. So then when I hit play, he's gonna walk like that and stop there. I'm gonna click on the tween and set ease. I want this is the ease. This ease means kind of, but even claymation was like you would move it frame by frame and hit record, move it a little bit, hit record. This stuff is a little bit more kind of like puppety, but yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. But you use like tweens and stuff like that. So this is me telling the animation where I want to slow down and where I want to speed up. So when he walks in, I want him to come in and slow down to stop. So here I'm gonna click on here, drag this up. This tells me that it's gonna come in fast and then slow down. And the more I drag this out, the more he's gonna slow down when he comes to stop. So if I hit save and apply, and I hit play, I'm gonna hide Karo. If I hit play, he's gonna come in, slow down and stop. Come in, slow down and stop. And then what I wanna do is I wanna create the effect that I wanna make it look like he's actually walking. So in here, inside the symbol, here if I hit play, there's no movement, see? Because the movement is happening outside on the object. Comes in, it's basically sliding that object forward. But I don't want it to just slide the object forward. I want it to give it the impression that he's actually walking. So if you're walking, your body does a lot of up and down movement. So I'm gonna hit create a keyframe here and a keyframe here. This is where I'm gonna make the illusion that he's kind of a little fatty. So when he's walking, there's gonna be like his weight's not gonna just float across. It's gonna actually, you know, catch his weight every time he takes a step. So on these set of frames, I'm gonna deselect the legs because the legs stay in the same place. The shadows, I'm gonna deselect the shadow. The body needs to move up and down. So I'm gonna move the body down a little bit. And I'm gonna kind of give it a little squash. I'm gonna grab the basket and his hands, move those down a little bit. Just a little bit of a squash. Okay, so now between these two drawings, you see he's squashing. He's squashing, then he's gonna come back up and then back to this first position. Before he comes back to his first position, then I'm gonna have him go up a little higher than his default position. And then this one is gonna be the opposite, kind of more of a stretch. Move his hands up. So he's gonna go step, step, step. And between these two drawings, I'm gonna create a little keyframe or a tween, classic tween. Create a classic tween. The selected frame span cannot be tweened. You must convert frame content to a symbol in order to tween. Oh, I think this, I was selecting that. Okay, the shadow can't, I didn't want to select the shadow. So now you have this little smooth little action. I'm gonna tween these because out here this is all on ones. It's every single keyframe. Instead of being every second keyframe, it's every single keyframe. That's what it means by ones or twos. And then what I do is I take that action and copy and paste it. So I'm going to duplicate that action. And that happens all the way to frame 38. So here I'm going to want that action to happen until frame 38 also. Paste. Paste. So this is frame 36. Okay. I'm gonna drag this over to frame 38. Okay, now when we, oops. Now when we step outside the symbol, you'll notice his body's not doing that up and down motion because remember I set the keyframes to play to be a single frame. I'm gonna put it to play once, and I'm gonna make the frame set the frame to frame 1. Now when he walks, there you go. You see he's doing that little bounce. So if I hit enter, you're gonna see what looks like Abo walking. Let me actually move this up. There you go. See that? I created a walk cycle. And then obviously I'm gonna go in there and create the little walk, the steps with the feet. I'm not just gonna leave the feet there, but luckily Abo his body takes up so much space that his feet are tiny, so you can't really see his feet that are not moving, but I'll still go in there and add the steps. Well, I think that's good enough for today. That was what, like that's more than an hour. It was actually fun. I thought I would have a hard time animating and talking and doing this at the same time, but yeah, it was fun. Thank you to those of you who tuned in. It was nice talking to you guys. That's actually probably the first time I've talked to you guys ever. This was really fun and interesting. Awesome. Thank you, Levon. Thank you. Amanji. Thank you, Kenneth. So I think now this video will be on my channel, or is that... Thank you so much. Can't wait to see this finished. Yeah, I can't wait for... This has actually been in the work for a while now. Oh, I'm in Cali too. Southern Cali. Burbank, actually. I was in Glendale. No, I'm in Burbank. Oh, wow. Sydney, Australia. Oh, I know you. Yeah, you were actually... Yeah, Vache. I know you from Facebook. Hike på Ocean. Glendale. I like your name, Hike. Not too many Armenians up there. Thank you, Martin. Not really. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I've always kind of been against the idea of animation being just for kids. Um, I mean, the cartoons that I make with the intention of kids watching them, but I don't like aiming at kids because I don't know. When I was young, I always watched stuff that was made for an older audience, and I think kids are a little smarter than um, a lot of kids programming makes them out to be. So I just like to respect kids more a little more and make stuff that appeals to all ages. Sorry, I was talking and I didn't read much of the stuff that was being written. Awesome. Do you animate in Animate CC? Oh, one more little quick thing. Like, see, I can actually move his pupils. So if I want him to be looking at the basket, I can move them down to look at the basket. But I'm actually gonna have him looking at the love tent, and then he'll look down at the basket. And then this guy, he's got some sneaky plans. So he's just standing there waiting. He convinced Abo. This is part 3. I don't know if you guys have seen part 1 and 2, but Abo wants to have a cat and dog have babies, and he starts arguing. Gato starts arguing and telling him that that's not gonna happen. You can't make a dog and a cat have babies. But then he gets an idea and he starts telling him that you need to make it romantic and you need to set the mood straight and all that stuff. So Abo does that. He plays the little mandolin or whatever. Oh, nice. I've been to Disney. I've never worked for Disney. I haven't worked at Disney, but I've done work for Disney. I did some Wreck-It Ralph animation for Winter Olympics. I posted that on my Instagram recently too. And then I got to visit the studio. One time I visited in high school as like a field trip type of thing. And then I also visited while I was working on the Wreck-It Ralph thing. See, I have an idea with that one too. I have an idea with Haru playing chess with the grandpa and cheating. Um, I have the whole idea in my head, but I just don't get the time to do it. This is the first time I've actually opened up Abo and Karo in probably more than a year. But yeah, I was saying Karo convinces Abo that he needs to make the mood romantic and all that stuff, and Abo does. And then in this episode, we're seeing the results of what Karo has set up. Yeah, I want to bring back some more Moolt. Working on it. All right, everyone. I'm gonna turn this off now. It was good talking to you guys. Ayo, hayran gidem. Երբ որ Հարութը մուլտերի մեջ հայրեն է խոսում, ես եմ իրաց ձենը հանում. So, երբ որ հայրեն when there's Armenian being spoken, it's me. Oh, my phone's about to die too. Okay. See you guys. Good night. Unless you're somewhere where it's daylight, then good morning.
Until next time, My name is Arut. Bye.